Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back. Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. Merry Christmas. How are you? Hope you're all happy and healthy, doing the things that you love, with those you love to do them with. How was it? How was it? Did you get yourself merry, toasty, fat, family time? Was it all good? Arguments? Were you debating things like the moon landings? You know, I tried to steer clear of all that stuff yesterday. To be honest, here's a breaking news story from the world of Butler. We didn't have Christmas yesterday because everyone in our flat was in our house was unwell, and we had no plumbing. we had no central heating. Woke up Christmas Eve without any Christmas Day. It was yesterday. Yeah, no hot water, no heating, and we all had a horrible dose of something. So we didn't get any Christmas dinner. There was no prezzies done. We basically said, let's just cancel Christmas and pick it up today. So today, for me, is Christmas Day. Kinda, if you know what I mean. We're having a take two interactive. How are you? How was yours? How was yours? I hope it was wonderful. I hope you're all slightly hungover. But listen, it's very rarely that on Boxing Day do you find me a little bit rat-a-ta-ta, because I didn't drink anything. I've not drunk since Saturday at the football. So today's actually, it's a lie. I had a beer with Johnny on the show on Wednesday. Must have been Christmas Eve, I think. So, but we're back in the game, and I'm feeling fresh. And I've got lots of alcohol around me right now, ready to get going. Because to me, it's Christmas. It's Christmas today. So, also, side note. You know, my man, my favourite plumber from another mama, James Flower. You know how he likes to go around ripping old ladies off at this time. So I phoned up a couple of plumbers yesterday. And I said, any chance? I know it's Christmas, but any chance? We've got no hot water. We've got no heating. And one guy basically laughed down the phone and said, no chance at all. It would take well over $1,000 on the call out, but not going to happen. Fair enough. Found another one, and they said, yeah, we can schedule you in next Friday, so a week away. And I went, do you know what? I don't know anything about plumbing. And no disrespect to James, because I love him to pieces. But if Flower can do it, Butler can do it, right? There's only so many buttons on a boiler, and there's only so many valves and things that you can twist, like the kind of the gauges, right? So I looked at like the amount of errors that I had on my boiler, F22, F11, F08, whatever. And I went on YouTube and I found out what the process was to try to figure all these things out. Lo and behold, 15 minutes later, this was this morning, I went, I've only gone and Johnny done it, ain't I? I've only gone and done it, people. And this is me. I'm not the sort of person that does anything good with his hands. Pause. There's only so many buttons and only so many screws. And you get on YouTube and they explain, I am basically a plumber now. 100%, Tony. I'm basically a plumber. Charlie Mullins. Eat your heart out. Don't need no bloody plumber. Don't need no electricians like Grumpy Pete. You know, if I need to know how to change a fuse on a plug, I'll just go to YouTube. No call out charges right here. So anyway, we're back in the game. We're back in the game. Get the Flower jingle out. I need to make a Flower jingle, don't I? I need to make a Flower jingle. Oh, I think I know what it was before. What was it? It was this one, wasn't it? I did for him before. This is when I cooked him. There it is.
Look what just happened. My man was totally cooked. His waffle, simply awful. You've been stinker and hooked.
Hey, it's me, Mario. Hey. There we go. So I saved myself a bag of sand. I'm feeling better. Feeling a little bit like Superman this morning. And everything's good. Everything's good in the hood. Let me know how everyone else is doing. YouTube and ChatGPT. Why are these overlay things so big? Back to the way you should be. There you go. Yeah, so I feel like I've beaten the world today. I feel like I've beaten the world. What was the error code? One of them was F22. One was F11. Another one was F8, F08. But basically, all three of them just required... One of them was a low pressure thing. So you just open the tap, apparently. Didn't know that. Not that difficult. Another one, I had to get the pressure gauge up and then bleed it somehow to get it back down again. I don't know. I just followed what it said. And then it was a case of pushing a couple of buttons in a specific order on the you know like when you've got a hob at home, like an electric hob, where it's like you put something, you either push the button too many times and it locks, and you're like, for fuck's sake. Same with the oven. The oven can occasionally like make a noise at you, and you have to like push the timer button in 2 times and then hold down the off button, and it does it's like some sort of cheat code. Well, basically the same thing with these boilers. So I no longer buy into this plumbing takes 3 years. 3 years to be a plumber, 3 years to be an electrician. For some people, it might take them 3 years. For this guy, it takes 3 minutes in a YouTube video. Do you know what I mean? If you know, you know. I can't wait until I see Flower in the chat. Yeah, I have been smelling a weird smell in the last 25 minutes, and my voice has started talking a bit like this. I don't know why helium would be there. Sean just discovered YouTube tutorial today. Yeah. I probably could, mate. I probably could. You know, apparently you need to bleed them. Or there's usually a dial that you might have just accidentally knocked to 0. That could often also be the problem, Johnny boy. Turn it up to max, and then usually ratatata, the job's a good one. Low pressure was part of the issue, Alex. It was part of the issue. It wasn't the full issue. But we've done it. So that's good. And tell you what else is good, guys. The prices that you can get on all of your footballing or sporting apparel. Right? You know, I know what you're thinking. It's just Boxing Day. I've already taken the dog out, and I've seen people out doing their runs this morning. Exhaustingly irritating people that do that. You know, it's 8:30 on Boxing Day morning, and they're out wearing all of their clobber. You know, starting a new me. I'm getting ahead of the January the 1st, but I'm starting Boxing Day to work off those additional pigs in blankets. Bore off. But if you are one of those types of people, then you might need some new clobber. And you can get that stuff at OK Jersey. You can get your football stuff, the retro gears, the current, all that stuff. You can also get all of your athleisure wear, all of the gear that you could possibly want. You can get it at OK Jersey. So search for OK Jersey, find what you want. You get unbelievable prices, as you know, and you also get 8% off at checkout. The Spurs Boiler Show. Yeah. If you hear a crack, or if you hear a massive bang, or if there's water that starts dropping, if it looks like it's raining indoors, then you know that I've spoken too soon. Anyway, guys, get over to OK Jersey and do your stuff. Let's talk about some football, guys. Let's talk about some football, shall we? Are you excited? Crystal Palace up next. We've got some news on that. Transfer news, views and clues to get through as well. The big news, though, the big news of the day, or yesterday, I didn't do a video yesterday. Tottenham have got £150 million transfer budget to go through this January, according to all reports. Get rid of that. Let's get onto the cider. My body. I feel like I've done like a line of gear. My body is like ta because I didn't drink yesterday and I was in bed early. I feel like Superman. I feel like I'm born again Christian. Let's go, people. Let's completely numb that pain, numb that feeling. Let's get absolutely rattled very, very early. By the way, we are going over to Football Inc. at 1:15. So you've got an hour with me, and then we're going to go over and see Johnny as well. It's the carbon monoxide. Pick up to you, Drew. No matter what time in the morning it is, he's always up. He's always up. Drew, let me know if you want to jump on, my man. I'd love to do some accents with you, buddy. Love to do some accents with you. By the way, happy birthday to James Flower. I've been calling him out all morning for his fraudulence as a vocation in life, but it's actually his birthday as well. So big up to James Flower. He's going out today. He's going out, spending all that ill-gotten gain money. You can feel Sean being on here all day getting plastered. Don't mind if I do. Now, I've got Christmas dinner. I've got Christmas dinner at like 4 p.m. You know? I feel great. Better start drinking. That is exactly what I'm talking about. So chin chin to everybody. Cheers. Let's get the first rat-a-ta-ta down our gullet. First gulp has to be a big one. Glug, glug, glug. You wait. Degas. And that is how you start your day. A few moments later. Ah, dear. So, did I see Matt tearing Saba a new one? I saw he did a 3-hour Christmas Day show, and I scooted through it, and I was like, I need to just pick a random part. And the first thing, literally the first I don't know, it was like the 45th minute in the show or something. I pressed like play there, and the first thing I saw was someone who put a comment in that was nasty, and Sab went, "Right, you can fuck off." Christmas spirit. But I hadn't seen any of the 45 minutes leading up to it to know whether the tone was appropriate. And then I did see the Matt guy come on. And I saw. I thought it was an interesting conversation. I thought it was an interesting because that guy speaks quite quietly, doesn't he? He speaks like he whispers. Well, I think he asked some. He did you clown. He did not you clown. I haven't seen the actual debate properly, so I don't know who schooled who or what. But I definitely saw some. Can I finish? Let me finish. And then the other guy was saying, "Let me finish. Can I speak now?" So typical respectful debate. But I didn't see a lot. I haven't got any comments on it. Should I go and watch it? Shall I go and watch it? Okay, I will if it was worth it. But yeah, very, very funny. Very funny. But listen, it's football, right? It's football. Everyone's got opinions, and everyone. That's the thing with football, though. Like you are always, if you have hardline opinions, you're always going to be wrong as quickly as you were right, because things change so quickly, and especially at Tottenham, like the pendulum of opinion just goes like this. And that's why, like I said to you guys for ages, like I don't think I'm going to have like staunch opinions about things that I can't control in the world of Tottenham, because like you end up just getting a lot of abuse, and people always waiting to tell you when the first opportunity when you're wrong. And the people that you end up defending, or the takes that you end up having, like you sitting there going, "What? Why? They don't even know that I exist. Like, why am I sitting there like losing or winning an argument with someone and getting vitriol on behalf, playing the advocate of the devil on behalf of someone that doesn't know I exist and doesn't care?" And I learned that lesson with Daniel Levy, but on a smaller sort of, I'm not going to do that anymore. But you know what? I know what's going to happen. Ademola Lookman is going to be my new kryptonite, because I think that Tottenham are going to sign him. And because I have backed that horse so much since the summer. No, I know you weren't calling me a clown. Oh, I assumed you weren't calling me a clown. I think you were a response. Yeah, Odebear, Mathys Tel, those two, which by the way, like I've obviously it became the part of the show where I was like, as soon as they started doing well, I started calling him Heisenbear and that, because I genuinely do think that Odebear is will become a really good player. I really do. But that's a bit more fun. Like obviously we all know we need better on the left wing. But Like, that's just a bit more fun and banter, you know. But it still gets used against you. It still gets used against you when you have a different opinion and people say, yeah, but like your opinion's shit because you rate people like Odebear. Well, dare to have an opinion, you know, dare to have an opinion. There's no point, Sean. People might not like your opinions, but they can be your bestie if the gaffer changes. Literally pointless. Yeah. Backing a good player in Serie A who scored a hat-trick in a European final doesn't sound like a bad idea, to be fair. Yeah, but you know what it is, though? It's if they come in and they, like, as soon as they have a bad game or if they don't acclimate or assimilate. Like, imagine if you were a Liverpool fan. I'm sure there were lots of them that were like, yeah, go and get me Florian Wirtz. Right. And then because of their opinions on other things within the Liverpool fan base, within the Liverpool, like if there's a YouTuber, a Liverpool YouTuber, I don't know, whoever, and he's got like, you know, controversial opinions about FSG or about Klopp or about Arne Slot, and then you're going to have half the fan base saying, I disagree with this guy about that. And the guy's got a bit of a personality, he's got a bit of like, you know, bit of gumption about him, not afraid to have a crack, not afraid to get into a debate. You're going to have half the fan base that appreciate that, and now the other half that think you're a donut. And either way, they'll still appreciate watching you because, you know, people love, like, it's either a hate watch or it's a love watch, whatever. If they then have strong opinions about Florian Wirtz, it doesn't matter whether the guy in the comment section also wanted Florian Wirtz. No one's going to necessarily be too familiar with that random YouTube account's particular opinions. So that person can hide behind their own anonymity and then come after you for saying that I wanted Florian Wirtz when he cost 120 million and hasn't done anything yet. So Ademola Lookman, I think he'll be a good player second time round in the Premier League. I think he'll be a really good player. But the reality is that some players are not destined to be good in the Premier League. I don't think that will happen with Ademola Lookman. That's why I'm like, despite that risk and despite his personality risk, I'm still backing that horse because I think he'll be a really good player. And I think he can play in the 9 as well. But I think that Tottenham should go out and get both. Savio, if they really want Savio, I'm not that mad about Savio personally, guys. I'm not. I'd love to know your opinion. But like, I don't see this wonderful talent that I think he's a good player. And I think he might become a fantastic player. But again, I'm at the point right now where I'm like, let's stop worrying so much about what might happen. Let's start worrying more about, you know, how confident are we that the guy's ready for now? We're too focused on fixing tomorrow or preparing for tomorrow when today is, you know, really shit. And all these other clubs that go out and look at the, you know, the 17, 18-year-old talents from around the business, around the game, they're not doing that until their house is in order. Like, it's first thing is first, and then you go and do the rest, right? So, you know, we'll talk about it in a minute. I separate players that I think are ready now, just regardless of their age, from players that I think aren't ready yet. I think that someone like Yandy Omandi, for example, I think I'd happily take the risk on him being a 19-year-old. That's because I think he is ready now. I think he's a special player. Although I am very worried that in every picture I see he's doing this, which if you know, you know. I don't want any of that juju because I feel like it's the wrong time of year, you know, for that sort of thing. But either way, Yandy Omandi, right, 19 years old, but is he one for the future? I don't think so. I think he's one for now. Rayan, the guy from Vasco da Gama, who Tottenham are linked with, who I'll talk about in a minute, he's not one for now. He might have scored 23 goals in 50 appearances or 20 in 53, I think it is, sorry. But I'm pretty sure Alejo the Lizard scored like 19 in 48 or something when he came from Argentina. So, you know, and I know, you know, Johnny's mate, who's like a big deal. He's big in the agency game. I think he now is like in very, very big in South America. And he apparently, you know, shares that opinion that like a very good talented player, but might not be ready for the Premier League just yet. And I'm like, that's cool, right? But that's all. Then why like, there's always going to be. Doesn't matter whether the season is 25-26 or 35-36 or anything in between. There is always going to be a 17-year-old wonder kid that's emerging somewhere at some point in time. Every single year, there's another kid. So why are we worried about these kids in the short term? We can get to that once we've got our first team ready. So fuck Rayan. I'm sorry, but like if he's not ready, then I don't want to be dropping 35 million quid on him. Yandy and Mandy different. I think he's ready. But back to the whole point around Ademola Lookman is I think he will be a much better version of himself this time around in the Premier League if he was to come here. I still don't know the details of what it is that like is this constant friction with him and his managers. You know, like a lot of people that are closer to the situation than I am. I'm nowhere near the close. I don't know anything about it. I don't even know what the arguments are about, to be honest. So, like, forgive me. 1 second, guys. I've got to blow my nose. Sorry about that. So, yeah, I don't even know what the source of, like, what the kind of genesis of these issues are. But like, if that's an issue and it's a major issue, then obviously that's a big concern and something to avoid. But I don't know, so I can't comment. But a lot of people say, you know, there's no smoke without fire, right? Like, what's the common denominator? He's argued with 3 different managers. Okay, maybe, but maybe I don't know. I honestly don't know. But a lot of people say that it's not him. A lot of people say it's like this the individual circumstances of those 3 things are 3 very different environments. He's just a guy that stands up for himself, and you know, with Gasperini, it was one thing. With Ivan Juric, it was Juric. It was angry with him for his performance on the pitch that day and took it out on the touchline, which is because Ivan Juric, I think, then lost his job a couple of weeks later. So, you know, he could be just a fiery character as well. Either way, like, if the club have done their due diligence, and I expect them to, and they decide that it's not worth the risk, I'll support it. I will. Like, I'm not going to sit there and say we should have signed Ademola Lookman, because I would imagine that they have the option. They know about the guy, and they'll have access to know what it is that's going on, right? So if they decide that he's not worth the risk, then fair enough. If that's deemed not a problem, and Tottenham Hotspur do decide to make a move for him, then back to the point, I feel like people will the second he has a bad game, the second that he has a you know, like any time that he's needed to kind of assimilate or acclimate into the Premier League, there will be the usual kind of butler. It will be the same for any other content creator that dares to have an opinion about a player that comes in. We've got a couple of super chats. I've just seen this one. Tom, my man Tom, has gifted a Spurs Talk Show membership twice. Big up to you, Tom. Thank you very much, mate. Marzi, you always look like, every time I see you, I feel like I'm looking at like a, it's like like your profile picture there is like a 90s pop star. Not sure. Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. Something like that. I don't know. So every time I see it, I always think that's what it looks like. Are you like an actor? It looks like a headshot. Big up to you, my man. Big up to you, buddy. Thank you very much. Whoever it was that received the memberships, please do say thank you to Marzi. Tommy Boy is, I think Lego. Logan got one, I think. Big up to you, my man. Thank you very much. And by the way, we are bringing back the members phoning shows. I'll be doing one of them tomorrow, or Saturday tomorrow, isn't it? Game day. If not this weekend, then 100% on Monday. I feel really bad I haven't done any, but I've been so unwell, guys. I've been so lethargic every single day, and I'm finally starting to feel better. So I'm gonna be doing more of these things. Yeah, Gift Orban. Gift Orban. See, this is the other one. I always get reminded about Gift Orban. By the way, Gift Orban, just for what it's worth, is currently plying his trade over in Verona. He's 23 years old. How many GA do you think he has this season? He's got 4 goals and 1 assist in 12 appearances, of which he has 42% goal participation. 42%. Okay, so Gift Orban is playing for a team that is going down in Serie A, but of all of the goals they have scored, he has participated in 42% of them. So don't tell me that he's not a good player. He might not be good enough for Tottenham. That's fine. That's fine. But people think that the whole Gift Orban thing was like, oh, you completely fucked that one. Well, he's still playing at the top level in Italy, and he's been involved in 42% of goals that Verona have scored. Find me another player that has been involved in nearly half of all of the goals that a club has scored this season, and I will tip my hat to you. So let's not. He's only 23 as well. So people like to come back and mud me on that one. They like to mud me all day long. All day. I get it. But when you peel back the onion layer, you know, why are you laughing at goal participation? Isn't that the role of a striker, to be involved in scoring? And 42% of the goals that the entire team has scored, he's participated in. G or an A, bro. G or an A. That's what we're doing here. What are we doing here? There's 444 people here. Smash the like button. How's Emmanuel Dennis doing these days? Now, this is another one. This is another by my own mod. But Martin, my own mod is trying to mud me off. You're not mudding me, you're modding me, bro. Like the difference between an O and a U, bro. O or U. What do you want to be? I can demod you. The Emmanuel Dennis thing, the whole Emmanuel Dennis story was when I said, why are we spending £65 million on Richarlison? Because he's only scored 9 goals from open play, or 8 goals from open play for Everton that year. I said, if we're looking, and people said, yeah, but he's playing for Everton. I said, okay, well, if that's the argument, why don't we go and get Emmanuel Dennis, who was playing for Watford and who had scored more goals from open play, more non-penalty goals than Richarlison had? I wasn't actually championing the narrative of signing Dennis. I was using Dennis as a means to bat away the suggestion that we should be signing Richarlison. Because I said, if you want to go and get a guy who scores a few goals, but the argument of why he's not scoring more is because he plays for a team that doesn't create enough, so then Emmanuel Dennis will cost you about 8 million rather than 65 million. That was the narrative, Martin, you Burke. No, I know you ain't joking. No, I picked the perfect alternative because the argument wasn't let's sign one of these two. The argument was like, let's not sign Richarlison because for the same rationale, you could go and get Emmanuel Dennis. Unbelievable. I'm a flip-flop, am I? Unbelievable. Okay, I'll play it on myself.
We have a flip-flop. Everyone changes their mind. Like they didn't say that last time. We have a flip-flop, trying to erase the past. Well, buddy, you're having a laugh.
Unbelievable, you lot. Coming at me on Boxing Day. Phil, we've just done Gift Orban, mate. He's contributed 44% of all of the goals that Verona have scored this season in Serie A, my man. That's what he's done. I'm batting back your accusations. Listen, I don't pick bad players. You're outrageous, the lot of you. You're outrageous. Anyway, back to Gift Orban. Right, time for a Slurpee. I'm moving goalposts more than a certain other creator. No. There's no goalpost being moved here. I need a goalpost moving jingle, don't I? It'll be really easy, actually. It'd be really easy to get a picture of a set of someone who's like installing a set of goalposts, and then they like Benny Hill, like they pick the goalposts up and move them somewhere else. I can really get my creative juice. See, this is what I'm on when I'm fresh faced, when I'm firing. I need to get on AI right now. Get me a goalpost moving jingle, music wise, and I can create the Benny Hill goalpost moving video very, very quickly. He is doing pretty decent lately. See? You see what I mean, Foxy? He might not be right for the Premier League or might not be right for Tottenham. But people use that as a stick to hit me with. And this is what I fear. Back to the whole point from half an hour ago. This is what I fear with Ademola Lookman. You know? But I actually think Ademola Lookman, for me, you can play him in the 9. He often plays in the 9 for Atalanta when they play with a back 3 and he scores goals. He can play off the left. He's direct. He's a great finisher. He can take a player on. And if the club decide that they don't want him because of his personality, then fair enough. Fair enough. If I'd hope that they would investigate that and ask people close to the equation, or close to the conversation. Sorry, what's the deal with him? And if it turns out that he's just not worth it, then fair enough. But if we can get him, I'd get him. I would, and I don't think there'll be masses of time being wasted trying to compete. Like according to some reports this morning, we're still actively trying to get Semenyo. What? Either the reports are just like stupid, but they're not. They're coming from places that it wasn't Team Talk, was it? It was somewhere. It was like an aggregator type place, but they were like Tottenham was still not giving up on Semenyo, and I'm like, oh come on now. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Lookman is a Charlton product. You may be able to get some inside info. And didn't Sava used to work for Charlton, didn't he? I wonder if he knows anybody at the club still. Be nice. Be interesting to know, wouldn't it? Be interesting to know. Maybe I could find out. Maybe I could find someone else out. But who else we should be able to know that is Paratici. And you know what? Paratici is a really interesting conundrum. I was listening to Ali Gold's video on 2x speed earlier, which was he still speaks slower than I do in 1x speed on his 2x speed videos. He said that to the Paratici, he made a good point. He was like, look, he doesn't there's no clear, obviously there's all the noise in Italy is that the conversation's pretty advanced. He wants to go. He didn't sort of go into any details of how he feels about the situation. He just said it was a mess. I'll go out on a limb here and say, I think if it does happen, Paratici's a fucking ungrateful prick. Happy to say that. Like he's left us in the lurch. But what Ali Gold did say was that that Tottenham probably wouldn't let him leave until after the end of the January window, because, what have you been doing for the last 4 months if you haven't been preparing for this window? And this begs the question, doesn't it? What have you been doing for the last 3 or 4 months? Have you been sitting there just picking up a salary going, oh, fuck this, can't be bothered? And also, if the reason why you're unhappy is because you feel like you're being cop-blocked because there's a bit of a click, a bit of a relationship between Johan Lang and Thomas Frank, this is problematic, right? So previously you had Scott Munn, who came in with no real direct, no direct sort of leadership role in his history. He was working in the City Football Group, which, let's be entirely honest, he wasn't the catalyst for its success. He was a beneficiary of being a part of an ecosystem of which had shared learnings across the world. Comes to Tottenham and does absolutely sweet FA, like doesn't say anything, doesn't have any conversations with anyone. God knows what he was doing for the 2 years. But the one thing he did say, he advocated to get Ange Postecoglou in. So you can call that a success story or you can call that a failure, however you want to view Ange Postecoglou's time. But one thing for sure is that I imagine that Johan Lang and Thomas Frank also have that kind of Scandinavian camaraderie, which again, like it becomes, that's a little bit sort of more around who you know, not what you know, isn't it? That's more what's the word? Nepotism, right? Like it's a little bit kind of, I don't know. If people are agreeing with each other and the other person's not feeling heard, which I always said was going to happen. I always said it. One of the things I'm like, I don't usually like doing this, but I'm going to do it here. I was the only person that said when Vinay hired both of them, I'm like, this is a shit show. It's never going to work. It's never going to work. And I was told, oh no, Sean, there's that they have different lines of responsibility, and there are examples in the Premier League of teams with two directors of football. And like, there isn't many, and there's a reason for that. And Brentford was one, right? But I think I forget who the other team was. There's only two, and they're not particularly successful. So it was never going to work, right? So, but then what has Paratici been doing for the last 2 years? Last 3 months, 4 months? Just sitting there twiddling his thumbs, throwing up a couple of names, and then as soon as they get like, oh, he's not really my type of player for Thomas Frank, then he's like, oh, fuck this, I'm going to go and like put the feelers out back in Italy. Yeah, not good. What's Axia saying? Savinio, Omar Mamouche, Adeyemi, Akliouche, and Yildiz. All very good players. Adeyemi, I don't think will come to Tottenham. I think he'll probably go to Liverpool, personally. Mamouche isn't going to leave Man City, in my opinion, because he plays as he's the second choice striker behind Haaland. And unfortunately, he's not going to get that many chances, but he's not going to be allowed to leave, because what happens if Haaland gets injured? So we can scrub that one off. I do think that Savinio is going to leave Manchester City. So I think that will probably be rekindled. I just don't know how I feel about it, because I haven't been that impressed with him in the Premier League. You know, even last season, or the season before, last season, he didn't score any goals. You know, we're trying to get goal. We're trying to find goal contributions, right? We're trying to find people that can contribute. That's where Lookman comes in. Lookman bangs in goals all the time. Johan Lang personally comes across as naive. Maybe. I don't think he's never been a number one, right? He's never been the top dog. Why is it that other teams' number twos come to us and get the number one gig? Why are we the testing ground for other people's number twos to get their first crack? And like Vinay was number two at Arsenal, comes to Tottenham, is now to be number two. Now he's number one, and his first major decision as number one is to not be able to pick a lane between Johan Lang and Paratici, because he's scared about the consequences of making one the other person's boss. I said it was going to be a shit show, and it has been. But listen, Barrett's like, he wants to be top dog at Spurs. Like, he should be top dog at Spurs, or get rid of both of them. I don't rate Johan Lang. I don't particularly rate Fabio. If I had to pick between the two, I'd pick Fabio. But let's be honest, like, Paratici has overseen 80% of the players in the current squad, and the argument around the zeitgeist is that these players aren't good enough. So if on the one hand you're telling, if you are someone that's a supporter of Fabio Paratici, and you're also telling me that the players aren't good enough, square that circle, because he's responsible for the vast majority of them coming into the football club. I don't want to die on the Lookman Hill. I want to thrive on the Lookman Hill, Michelle. I want to thrive on it. I want him to come in. This is what I'm saying. I'm pleading for patience. If he does come in, I know what's going to happen. The second he falls over his own shoelaces, the second that he smashes the ball and it smashes me in the face in row 44 behind the south stand, then people are going to go, "Oh, you butler, you picked another wrong un. Add Lookman to the list, and you're going to come after me." And I'm saying, don't. Be nice. But in all fairness, if he scores a hat trick on his first day, I'm coming for everybody. You know, I'm coming for everybody. It's the way it is, right? Point scoring is point scoring. Scores have to be pointed. You know, they have to be pointed. Lookman will get injured. Maybe, possibly. Possibly. Sean's left wing curse. Tell Odebear and Lookman. Now listen. My man Odebear. First of all, Tell's not a left winger. He's not a left wing, is he? Although I think he's been done dirty. 100%. I think that Mathys Tel has had the dirty done on him by Thomas Frank. How is it that we're so unbelievably toothless at the top end of the park, and yet Richalison, who plays badly for 90% of games and then puts one in the bins after it's been force-fed down his throat. Here comes the big aeroplane. And he gets to maintain his position, and Mathys Tel gets 3 minutes at the end of a match. And when he comes on, he works his arse off trying to prove a point. Mathys Tel 100% deserves a chance. He's not selected in the Champions League. I know he's in the Champions League squad now, but that's only because of Solanke, you know. Yeah, we are wasting him. If we're not going to use him, then waste him. Odebear is not utter rubbish. No chance. But he shouldn't be playing. He shouldn't be starting for us either. We should have a better left winger than that. Kolo Muani for me should be in the 9. And we should have a better left winger. We should have a better one. Or Kolo Muani could be off the bench and we bring in a Lookman and a Savinio, something like that. I mean, we immediately look better if you have a Xavi Simons, although we're not going to have Xavi Simons until like whatever it is, the 15th of January or something. So, I mean, that, again, he's screwed himself. He hasn't showed he's rubbish, Tarry. What are we doing here? But yeah, another one that's back on the rumour list today. The Sun are talking about Samu Agahawa. That we're back on this one. It's likely to cost £50 million. Samu, the interest has stepped up. I mean, I don't particularly rate this guy yet either, for what it's worth. I think he's big, he's fast, he's strong, he fits the physical profile, but he still hasn't scored any goals against top Portuguese league opposition. I think he scored 1 goal against Benfica in his entire relatively short career against one of the big teams. Maybe one against Braga, and I wouldn't even consider Braga. Braga are like a conference league team, so like, you know, all the other goals that he scores are against teams, you know, that we're not they're championship level teams. So Odebear is not poo. I'm not having this. I'm absolutely not having this. He should have scored. He should have got the double assist a couple of weeks ago. He's not. He's absolutely not. But he should be an off-the-bench guy in certain situations, and then the pressure wouldn't be on him. But you guys listen to other content creators too much who tell you certain things like they're fact, and they're not. Although I'm doing exactly the same thing. Listen to me. Don't listen to them guys that tell you things that I don't agree with. What are we doing here? What is up with Kulu? Genuinely been so strange. Yeah. Manny Singh. He's not. He is not. Odebear's a better left winger than Berghvall. Let's talk about Berghvall for a minute. £55 million. 52 million pound. Liverpool want to buy him for 52 milski. So here's an interesting one, isn't it? Right? You can 5x your money, 4x your money on Berghvall, a player that most of you that listen to certain people goes, they're shit. Our team's shit. Our midfielders are shit. Everyone's shit. Would you take your 50 million quid? I mean, 50 million quid, quite a lot of money. But unfortunately, I think we already, well, not unfortunately, fortunately, whatever. I think we actually have quite a lot of money to spend. We've got 150 million quid to spend, guys, without needing to sell him. But should we sell? Should we? You know, take 50 million quid, add it to the pile? But it's like. If you offered me 55 million quid for Berghvall right now, would I take it? Yeah, I would take it. I would take it. Just because I think that there's always somebody else that's coming up, and 50 million quid you could then go and make an offer that a team in Italy can't refuse to turn down. You know, a lot of the time, these people in Italy, these players in Italy, don't want to leave Italy, and the teams don't really want to let them go. But if you were to go to like Edison right now, go to Atalanta and say, look, we'll take Edison and we'll pay you 40 million quid, they'd probably say no. But if you were to sell Berghvall and then you would take half of that money, so 25 million, add it to the 40 that you think he's valued at and go, can we get Edison now, please? I know Edison's like 27 or something, isn't he? But 28 maybe. But like different level, different caliber. You know, you can really impress a shorter term viewpoint. And I think that what Tottenham fans right now need is more of a short term vision, like less about the bigger picture stuff. We've had enough of the bigger picture thing with the stadium, with the revenue that's going to come in from the high rise apartments, from this and that, from the NFL, all of that stuff. It's all kind of like difficult to quantify. It's arguably even more difficult to qualify. And signing all these young kids that might come right in the future, like it all sounds great, but like you need things to get, like the club is in meltdown because there's been no attention to the here and now. And Berghvall might be a player that could easily be world-class in the future. Maybe he will become a world-class player in the future. Maybe he won't, but maybe he will. But either way, I think Tottenham would rather go and get someone in that's right now going to move the needle and make Tottenham a better chance of top 4, top 3, you know, a cup game sort of thing, a cup team, whatever, in the short term. We need more short-term happiness, you know? I guess it's like Tottenham always eating chicken and broccoli every single day and going to the gym because in 10 years' time, you're gonna be a good-looking 50-year-old. Yeah, but like, I'm in my 40s, bro. And like, it's the last few remaining good years of my life. I want to have some fun. So bring out the cocaine, you know, break out the cider, and someone dial up a little hottie, you know, like that. And I need something now because we might all get, you know, killed in a nuclear war in the next 8 years. Tottenham focus too much on the clean living and the gym and all that stuff, on the kind of propensity that maybe in 10 years' time we're going to be healthier than everybody else. Fuck that. Break out the fucking packet, guys. Break out the packet. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. If you know what I mean, then smash the like button. Smash the granny out of the like button. Perfect analogy. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Yeah. Sean's lost it. Oh, I didn't lose the packet. Just inhaled it all. Someone get me a bag. And it looks like Edison. It looks like Ademola Lookman. And it looks like Atatata Locatelli. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm talking about. Live for the now. Rack them up, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Definitely getting cancelled. I'm definitely getting cancelled after that.
Oh
one.
no, it happened again. What did he just say? I guess it's time to say goodbye. We're getting cancelled today.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear. You know what I'm really doing? Every time I play a jingle, I'm just getting out a quick key. I'm kidding, kids. Don't do it. Don't do that stuff. I'm ain't mucking around. You're still the best podcaster, Sean, even if you're in love with Oda and Tel. Appreciate you, mate. Not in love with them. I just back them. I back them because I feel like they're kids. They're kids, and they deserve a better. They deserve a chance. They deserve the club to have done more, to have helped them, to have allowed them to be less in the spotlight. Mathys Tel hasn't had a chance, in my opinion. He's had a few chances in an Ange Postecoglou system that was deprioritising the Premier League, and he wasn't a massive part of the Europa League campaign. So like people judged him then, and then this season he's been completely deprioritised amongst a bag of shit, you know. So, Sean, you should me down on the Spurs 5 when I said Kudus wasn't all that, certainly not a top 4 player. Thoughts now after 5 months? You should me down. I shot you down? I shoot you down, did I? When did I say that? Did I say that? I don't think I did. I remember you saying this. And I was like, I said it's a controversial take. It's a controversial take. I don't remember shooting you down about it though, because I think at the time everyone was like, he's the best that we have. But I haven't been that impressed with. If I shot you down, Michelle, then I apologise because I think you were actually quite prescient. But my memory is not that I shot you down about it. I think I might have just said, "Oh, that's a wild one," and I think I might have called it up and sort of like bantered it a little bit, but shouted. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, when you're Sava can be quite influential because if you're not in the mood for an argument, and sometimes because remember that Spurs 5 is on late at night. And I'm usually like, I hate the fact that the Spurs 5 is on at 8 p.m. Like I'm usually like tucked up in bed. I get up so early for my work, right? So early. I get up really, really early. I do all my other things. Then I start streaming and drinking and all that stuff. And so by 8 p.m., I'm like either lagging or tipsy or drunk or whatever else. And so sometimes I feel like if you say something like that and then Sava goes, sorry, what are we doing here? Even if I laughed at you. I laugh at everything, to be fair, Michelle. I laugh at everything. I laugh quite a lot. Doesn't sound like you're too sensitive. 4 months ago, he was the best we had. Now, I think that I think he's starting to show all of the things that the West Ham fans warned us about. He's got this. He's selfish. He runs down dark alleys and only gives up the ball when he's run out of other options. And he's still capable of things that the rest aren't capable of. What I think we need, I think he will be someone that will thrive and flourish if the energy around the football club is better. And I think that if he doesn't have to be fed the ball as often as he is because we don't have other options. But I definitely think he needs to learn to be less selfish because for every time he does something good, he does 2 or 3 things bad. I genuinely don't believe that I would have. I might have laughed at your thing because I thought it was controversial, but I certainly wasn't in a mocking way because I always, to some degree, felt like he was selfish at the start. I remember myself saying his directive here is not to whip the ball in; it's to win a corner. In the opening games of the season, he would stand there with the ball at his feet and then wait for Tottenham players to arrive in the box, but he was looking for a corner rather than whipping the ball in. And that's where we got most of our value from. So it was by design. We were trying to win a corner all the time to set piece FC it. So I wasn't that impressed with that because I don't like that sort of style of football. So I don't remember it quite the way that I feel like maybe came across to you, Michelle. And if it did, I apologise because that's not I think your take was probably very spot on. I mean, I think not probably. I think it is spot on. I think he's a good player. I think he's capable of a lot. But I think he's too selfish and I think he needs to adapt. But I also think the football club need to offer other avenues for support. And then when we have dual threats, by the way, just for what it's worth, signing Savinho is not going to be enough. You need an 8 that can switch the play. or Romero that would step up and then be able to switch the play with consummate ease. This is why I've always thought in a back three system, Romero. And I'm going to talk about this in a second because Glasner, the other news is that Glasner is not signing his new contract, right? So here's a situation where I would like to see maybe Tottenham hang on to Thomas Frank, give him enough time, buy some players that he wants, but that ultimately will be good purchases for the club anyway. And then in a world where Glasner is available in the summer, I personally think that he would be someone that I would like to see because I believe that Tottenham Hotspur do have immense value in our centre-back options in a different model. And I think our wing-back options will thrive and flourish in a back three. I've said it for ages and ages and ages and ages. The back three model, for me, is something that we're not taking advantage of. We showed it for 45 minutes against Arsenal, and then we shelved it. Under Ange, we played it for 45 minutes against Everton away, and we shelved it as a failed experiment because they haven't had any time to practice it. But if you were to put Romero in the middle of a back three, or on the right-hand side of a back three, but for me in the middle, he could step up and play the role of the six again in certain situations. He can also play the role of the chief switcher, right? The switch hit. So you ping it into the channels with consummate ease. And if you have a Savinho on the left and you have a like a Kudus on the right, then you have that unbelievably difficult thing to set up against, which is the dual threat. And then the fullbacks on the opposition team need to make a decision. Can I handle these players by myself? If I can, fair enough. And then Tottenham, I think, can beat most fullbacks in that regard with Kudus and Savinho, or Kudus and Lookman, whatever. And if they can't, then they'll ask for help from either the six or from their centre-back, at which point you move it infield to a Xabi Simons that will get more space, or a Maddison or a Udogie or whoever else, and then you can hit the ball from outside the box. Having a back three also gives you more protection across the D, in the D where we're conceding so many goals. Like, to me, the back three model with how our squad currently looks from a fullback perspective and from an attacking perspective works really well. If you're not going to do it, though, if you're going to play a back four, then Tottenham obviously needs to go and get a left back that is more balanced. Someone like Anthony Robinson, would love to see it. Someone like a Kenny Tete, if you want to make their balance on the right hand side, would love to see it. Probably not him, but someone like him. We can talk about that on a different show. Let me get some super chats done, and I'm going to come back to the Glasner story in just a second. So Oscar Guinness, please, big up to you. I think that's the biggest super sticker that I've ever had. €6 super sticker. Big up to you, Oscar Guinness, mate. It's so nice of you, my man. And it's the first super sticker of the day. You get a choo to you, including the noise, the audio. You get us off and running with an unbelievable super sticker. Big up to you, Oscar. Thank you so much, mate. Very, very, very generous. Daniel Field popped in as well with a super sticker of choo to you, Daniel. Very, very generous, mate. Merry Christmas to all of you guys, by the way. Oh, happy Hanukkah, whatever your vibe is. I don't know if there's an Islam festival this time of year, or a Hindu festival, or a Buddhist. I mean, whatever you're into. If this time of year is festive in some way, then happy insert thing there. And I appreciate you all. I'm getting drunk today, boys and girls. Getting diddly drunk. Let's go. Jews nuts. Big up to you, choose nuts. He says, cider moolah on me. Please enjoy. Choo to you, sir. Thank you very much, Jews nuts. You know what? I bought this Stella glass because if you remember me from a couple of months ago, I was complaining about having to drink Stella out of that other glass that I had. And I bought this glass, but I haven't had any Stella since. I went out the night before Christmas Eve, and I went and bought all the Christmas stuff, and I haven't had any of it. Like, the house is overflowing with snacks, with fucking turkey, everything you could possibly. I've got dozens of Christmas presents downstairs that I haven't given out yet. It's a nightmare, but I got a full massive box of Stella as well. So at some point today, you're going to see me enjoying a Stella in a glass, in a Stella. This is the greatest vessel. This is the greatest vessel, by the way, to consume alcohol out of, at least beer. It's just perfectly made. You're a pagan, Cantab. Well, big up to your many gods, mate. Big up to your many gods, you know? Let me know which one is your favourite god. Oh yeah, we'll do that on rabbit hole. We'll do it on the rabbit hole. Oh my Jesus. I'm sorry, Oscar. You've just been superseded. €6 super sticker, the biggest ever, has just been absolutely smashed by Sanilla 32. Unbelievable. A £20 super, mate. Thank you so much, my man. Thank you so much. That's amazing. What a Christmas present that is. It's going straight on you know where. No, I'm kidding. Mate, that's amazing. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas, happy festivities. Just because of that, you get your own choo-choo as well. I usually only give out one choo-choo audio a day, but that's amazing. Thank you so much, mate. Very, very, very generous. No, I mean, that's probably the maximum. I don't know if you could do the monster of all super stickers. I'm not sure if you can get bigger than that. It's unbelievable. Bought a Stella. Thank you very much, Nilla. That's very cool of you, mate. Very cool. Bought a Stella glass. Just pinch one from the pub. What do you think I am? A Philistine? What are we doing here? Stealing pub glasses. I'm not that sort of guy, my man. I'm not that sort of guy. Johnny. Someone asked Johnny, how do you? Can you please ask Sean what specific account, what level of membership he has on the AI thing, the AI tool for music? And Johnny didn't know the answer, but Johnny knows me well enough to the answer was the top one. And the guy was like, what? He goes, it's always the top one. Whatever, like Sean's the sort of guy, he doesn't even look at the features. It's just whatever the top level is, he's the guy who buys that, even if 99% of what's in it is completely irrelevant to it. He's absolutely spot on. I hate the idea that there's things that something can do that I can't access. So I spent 3 years paying for the very top version of StreamYard, and I only looked into it about 2 weeks ago and realized that I didn't need any of the features of the very top level, and that dropping down one saved me like 600 quid a year. I'm a fucking idiot. I'm an absolute idiot. But that's me. That's me. That is me. Let me ask you this, guys. Let me ask you this. Big up to you all, though. Thank you so much. I missed you guys yesterday. It was you're my favorite hobby, you lot. Talking to you lot. I'll be talking with Johnny in 13 minutes time. We're going to move over to Football Inc. We're going to carry on the conversation. And we're going to talk a little bit more about other teams as well. There's interesting stories out about Strand Larsen today. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Let me know your thoughts. What are we talking about with Oliver Glasner? Yeah, 1s and 0s games. 1s and 0s. Well, actually, how about this? Don't do 1s and 0s. Cancel. If you were right now, are you sacking Frank today? If you could bring in another manager today that you thought was a better fit for the season, even if it meant that the entire January window was fucked, and that basically you're getting in the manager that you want for next season now at the risk of not having him available in the summer. But it means that like all of your plans for January and this season is essentially a write-off. Or you say, no, I'll stick with Thomas Frank and we'll go and get players that he wanted or whatever. So 1s and 0s, that for me. 1 is sack Frank, get the new manager in. 0 is keep Frank, still build the window as we were and see what we can do this window. And then we'll figure it out in the summer. Come on, you Spurs is saying... they're all saying so 0s. So you're saying like keep Frank. Okay, couple of 1s, sack him. Longheezy's saying 10. I think he's answering the question: how many beers will Sean drink today? Love that. Oh, a lot of you are more interested in sacking him. A lot of you want him gone right now, do you? See, I don't think he's the guy. I don't think he's the guy at all. I don't think he's the guy. But I also think that there's a lot more managers available in the summer. And I think that we've set a horrendous precedent if you sack him now. With him going and all of his staff going, Tottenham will be back to like chaos mode. Chaos. Not Rob would sack Frank for Edin Terzic instantly. Edin Terzic. Did really well at Dortmund. Did really well. I don't think he's the guy. I think most of you, it's still, no, it's fairly even. It's fairly even. Like a lot of you want him gone. So you're saying don't spend on Frank, listen to what Poch wants and buy. So almost like, are you saying there then, Roy, basically like have conversations with Poch now and say like, we'll bring you in after your World Cup. Let us know what sort of players you would like, and then maybe we can try and get ahead of the curve. That's not going to be good though, is it? If Thomas Frank's saying I want this, and then the club is saying we're not getting that, we're going to get this guy. Thomas Frank's again stuck with a fucking. I mean, you can't. I don't think you can do that. I'm not sure you can do that. In an ideal world where you're not pissing off the human condition, you're just like you're working with robots, and you're thinking outside the box, and they're just going to do what they do. I don't think you can do that. Poch is not the guy. It's just a nostalgia tax. Yeah, but I genuinely believe. I'm not sure if you're right or wrong about that. Maybe he isn't the guy. Maybe he isn't. But I think that this cycle at Tottenham needs to come to its conclusion. And I think the cycle started when Poch came, and I think it will only conclude when he comes back. Because I think then once that we get that monkey off our back, people feel like he was the guy, unfinished business, all that shit. I think a lot of this expectation thing at Tottenham Hotspur, I think a lot of it is down to a hell of a lot of, like, you might be right, nostalgia and sentimentality. Yeah, listen, as much as old Lubo loves to pretend like it's settled science, a user, Levy, listen, he was the cornerstone. You take him out and the bridge feels quite weak, doesn't it? Bring back Daniel Levy. Bring back Harry Redknapp. Cesc Fabregas or Robbie Keane. Scaloni. Now, but Glasner is going to leave in the summer. All right, let me ask this. New game. So, 1s and 2s, right? 1 in the summer, Glasner. 2, Pochettino. 3, De Zerbi. 4, Xavi. 1, Glasner. 2, Pochettino. 3, De Zerbi. 4, Xavi. They're your options. What are we doing here? So we got Poch, Xavi, Glasner, Poch, De Zerbi, says B. Jop Son. Interesting. Xavi, Glasner, Poch, Xavi, Glasner, Poch. It's a mixed bag, isn't it? Music realm, stick with Frank. Xavi. See, with Xavi though, you're gonna need like an entirely new. Xavi plays a certain style of football, right, and it requires technicality. It requires a team that knows how to kick a ball. We haven't got many good passers in our team. Scaloni. Sebastian Hoeneß. So you want Xavi first choice, Pochettino second choice, Glasner third choice, De Zerbi last, with a massive distance between each choice. Ragnick, director of football with Nagelsmann. That's what I'm talking about, by the way. That is what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. I don't mind that at all. This is a good shout. That's not what you asked, Sean. That's not what I asked. Yeah, I said one was Glasner, 2 was Poch, 3 was De Zerbi, 3 was De Zerbi, 4 was Xavi. Compare Glasner's presses to Frank's. Thomas Frank's pissed me off, though. He's called out the fan base so many times. Like, he's supposed to be calm, mild-mannered Italiano. Yeah, Italiano looks good, doesn't he? Looks very good. Looks very, very good. Big up to you guys. Make sure you smash the subscribe as well. I haven't put the subscribe mode only on, but there's 525 people here, give or take. Appreciate everyone for stopping in. James says, what AI tool do you use for the jingles? I use Suno.ai to get the audio. I just stick in the lyrics and then give it a little prompt and say, make it like a funny jingle, game show jingle or whatever. And then it just like throws up a couple of options, and I'll keep asking to do the same thing until I find one that I like. And for the videos that I make for it, I either just use something called Envato Elements, which is just like basics. It's not AI, it's just basic like videos that are like similar. Or I'll use a combination of Grok and Gemini AI, where I'll ask them to build an image about what I want using a prompt, and then if it's the right image, then I'll use another prompt to make that image into a video. And if I do a couple of them, then it can usually work. So big up to you, James. And Aussie Frank Lover, big up to you, Aussie. He says, these fans that want Frank sacked don't realise the transfer money won't be spent on players in Jan. It will be to replace manager and staff. Well, this is the other thing, isn't it? It's the other thing, right? How much is it going to cost to pay the compensation for a new manager now, and to also bring in all their staff and their player? It's a convoluted nightmare. I'm of the opinion that you keep Thomas Frank around and you give him enough rope to hang himself, but I don't think he's the guy. But I think you're not solving anything sacking him now. But what I do absolutely think, 2 things need to happen. One is Tottenham need to stop like that. At the moment, there's a little bit of a kind of concept out there that it's like rats off a sinking ship, right? The geezer, Matty Wells, goes to Colorado, and the second he gets there, he says things like, oh, we're going to be playing front foot football, possession-based, all this stuff, attractive, attacking. And even Thomas Frank's words about wishing him well, when he said like, oh, it's a different thing when you're out there on your own, it seemed a little bit snarky, as if to say like maybe there had been something said in the background where, he's got his ideas or whatever and they weren't being listened to. And Thomas Frank said like, no, I wish him well. I hope he does really well. He's a talented coach, but it's a different thing when you're out there on your own. So maybe there was something said there, but he's left. Paratici looks like he wants to fuck off. No players want to join. Micky van der Ven might want to leave. Jed Spence walking off the pitch, having arguments. It just looks like the whole thing is an absolute mess. And so 2 things need to really happen in the next couple of weeks. One is Thomas Frank needs a couple of good performances that come with victories against decent opposition. First chance for that is tomorrow in the Premier League. But also Tottenham Hotspur need to sign a really, really top draw player this January, to remind everybody that we're still a team that we can bring in big players, because at the moment it feels like every player we go after, but we're not getting we're not winning those battles, and I feel like we're like there's a reputational risk to constantly being seen as the rejected party. Like if you're the guy who's at the bar and you're not a bad looking bloke, you're not like a model or whatever. You're not a bad looking bloke, and your chat's okay. But every time you go up to a bird, and the girl like brushes you off, like that, after a while, it smells of desperation, and the girls that you haven't yet spoken to, they've seen you speak to 5 other girls before, and they're not quite as impressed by your approach, if that makes sense. You know. Listen, guys, I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to move you on over to the football stink. So stay where you are, and I will see you over with Johnny in 2 minutes. Thank you so much to everyone that's been around. I'll be back later on with the transfer news, views, and clues, or maybe even a second live stream later on. You never know, because it's Christmas Day to me. Enjoy your Boxing Day. We're playing Sunday, are we? We're playing Sunday. Yes, that's it, Tom. You're right. Sorry, mate. Listen, I'm a day behind, but a day ahead, if that makes sense. I appreciate you all. Like, subscribe, and comment. Thanks, everyone, for your support. And I'll stay right there. I'll see you over on Football Inc. in just a minute. We'll talk more with Johnny about Tottenham and everything else as well. Like, subscribe, and comment. Enjoy your turkey sandwiches. Bye!